Stellar pumped 54% in 7 days after DTCC announced it as a partner chain. That announcement is now confirmed and priced in, but analysts who have been tracking the DTCC's documentation, patent filings, and infrastructure connections are pointing at one thing: the XRP announcement is next. Today we cover the full case for why that announcement is coming, what the DTCC's own patent document says about the XRP ledger, why Ripple Prime's existing position inside DTCC infrastructure makes this almost inevitable, and what the price implication looks like if XRP follows the same trajectory Stellar just demonstrated. This is XRP Verified. Let us get into it. Let us start with the pattern that is driving the current analyst thesis. The DTCC confirmed that its tokenization service, which manages $114 trillion in annual settlement infrastructure, will operate across multiple blockchain ecosystems when it launches in the second half of 2026. They have not disclosed every blockchain that will participate, but they started announcing partnerships one by one. Stellar was the first official public announcement, and the question every serious XRP analyst is now asking is, who is next? Because the evidence suggesting XRP ledger is in that sequence is not speculative. It is documented across multiple official sources that predate the Stellar announcement. The most significant piece of documentation is a 2025 DTCC patent filing that explicitly references the XRP ledger among the blockchain networks capable of supporting tokenized asset workflows. A patent filing is not a marketing document. It is a legal, technical document that undergoes rigorous review and specifically identifies technologies relevant to the patent's claims. The DTCC's own legal and technical team identified the XRP ledger by name in a patent related to tokenized asset infrastructure. That is not a rumor. That is a documented official reference that was filed before any public partnership announcement was made. And notably, in the same documentation where XRP ledger appeared, Stellar also appeared. Stellar as a digital liquidity bridge for cross-border settlements. XRP ledger as a digital liquidity bridge for cross-border settlements. Both listed. Stellar got its public announcement. XRP ledger is on the same list. Now let us talk about Ripple Prime's existing position inside DTCC infrastructure, because this is the piece that makes the XRP announcement not just likely, but structurally logical. Through its acquisition of Hidden Road in April 2025, Ripple Prime has already established integration within the Fixed Income Clearing Corporation, the FICC, which is one of DTCC's key subsidiaries responsible for processing and settling fixed income transactions. The official DTCC participant list shows Ripple Prime operating alongside JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citibank, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Charles Schwab, and every major Wall Street clearing institution. Ripple is not on the outside looking in at the DTCC ecosystem. Ripple Prime is already operating inside it. The infrastructure connection exists. The question is not whether Ripple and the XRP ledger are part of the DTCC's multi-chain strategy. Based on everything that is documented, the patent reference, the FICC integration, the official participant list, and the confirmed multi-chain commitment, the question is when the public announcement formalizes what is already operationally in place. Now, let us talk about what a DTCC XRP announcement would mean for price, because the Stellar precedent gives us a concrete reference point. When DTCC announced Stellar as a partner chain, XLM went from 14.7 cents to approximately 30 cents, more than doubling, before partially giving back gains and stabilizing at a significantly higher level than where it started. That is a 54% move in 7 days from a confirmed DTCC partnership announcement. If XRP follows a similar percentage trajectory from its current price level of approximately $1.26, the price target in that scenario is $2.56. That is not a long-term prediction. That is a mathematical extrapolation of what Stellar demonstrated the market will pay for a confirmed DTCC blockchain partnership announcement, applied to XRP's current price. The actual move could be larger because XRP's market profile, institutional infrastructure, and existing DTCC connections are arguably stronger than Stellar's were at the time of that announcement. Now let us zoom out and understand why the institutional case for XRP is being built so systematically. Because this week also brought a major SWIFT development that connects directly to XRP's positioning. SWIFT just launched a new cross-border payments framework with 50-plus banks, including JP Morgan, HSBC, Citibank, and BNP Paribas, promising instant settlement, fixed fees, and end-to-end traceability across major remittance corridors by the end of June. Every one of those banks is already a confirmed Ripple partner or Ripple technology user. JP Morgan and Ripple completed a cross-border pilot transaction on the XRP ledger with MasterCard weeks ago. HSBC has partnered with Ripple-owned Medico to power its institutional digital asset custody. Citibank leverages Ripple technology for cross-border messaging while integrating its own tokenized deposit infrastructure. The same banks that are building SWIFT's new instant settlement framework are simultaneously building on Ripple's XRP ledger infrastructure. When SWIFT eventually announces its blockchain settlement layer, the infrastructure those 50 banks are already using points directly at Ripple and the XRP ledger as natural components. Today is also a significant milestone that deserves acknowledgement. June 2nd, 2026 marks the 14th birthday of the XRP ledger. 14 years of continuous operation, 14 years without a single day of downtime, 14 years through SEC lawsuits, bear markets, regulatory uncertainty, and every attack the market could produce. Most blockchain projects that launched in that era no longer exist. The XRP ledger has not just survived 14 years, it has grown into the infrastructure layer that JP Morgan, MasterCard, the DTCC, the Bank of England, the Reserve Bank of Australia, and the Federal Reserve's own task force have all formally engaged with. Now let us cover the technical architecture point that most retail analysis misses entirely. Because understanding why financial institutions specifically choose the XRP ledger over other blockchains matters for understanding the sustainability of adoption. The XRP ledger operates on a federated consensus mechanism. Validators agree on the state of the ledger by trusting a specific set of peers. There are no block rewards paid to validators. And that design choice, which looks unremarkable on the surface, is actually the single most important feature for institutional deployment. On Bitcoin and Ethereum, validators control transaction ordering and can extract hidden profits by reordering, inserting, or front-running user transactions within a block. This is called miner extractable value, MEV. For a financial institution executing a multi-billion-dollar settlement, the possibility that a competing institution could pay to have their transaction processed first is completely unacceptable. No bank will deploy capital on infrastructure where they can be front-run by their competitors. The XRP ledger eliminates this problem entirely by design. Zero validator rewards means zero financial incentive to manipulate block ordering. The XRP ledger currently holds 93.7% of the market share among blockchains that provide zero token rewards to validators. That institutional-grade execution predictability is not a feature that was added. It was the foundational design decision made 14 years ago, and it is the reason institutions keep selecting this specific ledger. The real-world asset numbers confirm that institutional adoption is not theoretical. RLUSD on the XRP ledger just hit 734 million, up 97% in the last 30 days alone. Total real-world assets on the XRP ledger are at 4.8 billion and accelerating. The ETF absorption is systematic, with over 775 million XRP accumulated across US spot ETFs by the end of Q1 2026, distributed evenly across 4 major issuers rather than concentrated in a single product. Corporate digital asset treasuries are adding to this absorption. The monthly escrow release of 1 billion XRP, with approximately 700 million being relocked every month, creates a mathematically predictable supply schedule that institutional treasury teams can model with confidence. Every piece of the institutional infrastructure puzzle is in place. Let me bring all of this together. A 2025 DTCC patent document explicitly names the XRP ledger as a capable blockchain for tokenized asset workflows, the same documentation where Stellar appeared before its public announcement. Ripple Prime is already operating inside the DTCC's Fixed Income Clearing Corporation infrastructure. The official DTCC participant list shows Ripple Prime alongside every major Wall Street clearing institution. The DTCC has committed to a multi-chain tokenization platform launching in the second half of 2026. Stellar's announcement produced a 54% price move. A similar XRP announcement from current price levels targets $2.56. SWIFT just launched a cross-border framework with 50 banks, every one of them already a Ripple technology user. RLUSD is up 97% in 30 days. Real-world assets on the XRP ledger are at 4.8 billion and accelerating. And the XRP ledger just turned 14 years old, still running, still building, still the institutional settlement infrastructure that every major financial institution keeps coming back to. The Stellar announcement showed you what the market does when DTCC confirmation arrives. The XRP ledger is next on the documented list. Stay informed, stay patient, stay positioned. Subscribe to XRP Verified. I will see you in the next one.